Good morning, everybody. You'd think Elvis Presley was my guest. I've got on pink and black. Well, he's not Elvis, but he can sing. And he may have written a music or two, and he can do. Thank you very much. Welcome, my buddy Bob Reece. Bob Reece is here because we have something very, very special that happened years ago, and you've been doing it now how many years?
About 7.
7 years. Widow and widower's meal. And you don't have to be an old, decrepit old woman, you know, like me, can't barely walk today, to go to this, but you do fellowship, friendship, music, food, and giving back.
Right.
We talk about giving back all the time. This is the professor of giving back. You give back through your music ministry, you give back through your help with the orphanage in Peru, you give back with White Christmas. Are you tired of giving back yet?
Well, it can be tiring.
It can be tiring.
I feel like that's what God has called me through Glorybound to do. And for 38 years, that's what we've been doing.
That's right. That's right.
But this event coming up, the idea came from a story that you shared with me.
Sitting right over there on that set.
Yeah. And it's one of my favorite events that we do.
See some special people.
Special people, widow, widower, men and women. And like you just said, it could be, you know, you could be any age.
Yeah.
I mean, you lose your spouse.
Right.
You know, I mean, we've had some 30-year-olds, you know.
A woman in Ball Ground recently lost her husband and has an 8-year-old son.
Right.
And we think about, you know, we're giving back to the widow and widowers, but one of the great things that we have the ability to do is help each other. And yesterday, one of my guests yesterday had worked out something through his son-in-law who did a GoFundMe for this family, and they raised $15,000.
Wow.
To become a young widow when you have no idea. You know, as we get older, we kind of prepare for those things.
Right.
And we get ready to bury our spouse, or we get ready to say goodbye. But at that age, and I was so proud of them for, you know, they just said, we think we can help. And they did a T-shirt fundraiser.
Right. And they're going to need continued help.
Absolutely,
you know.
yeah.
But this event that we do is for that, you know, to have the folks to come in and just fellowship. And we love on them. Our grandkids and Gary's grandkids are there, and we just love on them, and they love us back. And we provide them, serve them a full course meal, including dessert and coffee. And then Glorybound does a concert, and then we try to finish a little bit before 7 o'clock, before it gets dark, so they can get back home before dark. And then as they leave, we give them a gift. And this year it's going to be a throw blanket. Last year I forgot what all we gave, but it's just letting them. We want to love on them and let them have a night out of fellowship and not just sitting at home by themselves maybe and just watching TV. You know, that gives them a chance to get out.
And one of the things that I hear all the time is I miss being around people. I miss being around people, whether they don't drive anymore or whether, you know, maybe something's happened to change their lifestyle, and they used to be outgoing and going places, and it's so hard to just be that person sitting at home.
Right. And it's lonely. My brother lost his wife, and then he passed away last year, but from the time his wife died and he remarried, that was a very lonely, and I worried about him, you know, being alone. And but that's what, you know, we just want to love on them, you know, and let them know that we love them, and they're not alone. You know, of course they're not alone anyway. Jesus is with them.
Right.
But we want to let them know that some people in the community loves them and are there for them if they need us.
And the location is perfect, and thank goodness it has a full-fledged kitchen there. It has lots of space. You know, it's great for the concert. It's great for feeding. You have all the space for the tables. You couldn't have picked a better location.
Great location, and through the couple of the partner ministries that we partner with, Serve International and Sunlight Ministries, which is Sunlight Ministries is they work out of the Hickory Flat Fellowship Church of God, where we have the event. And for the last 2 years, we've been providing food boxes for anyone that comes that night that needs a helping hand. You know, it's a food box that has 100 meals in it, and so when you come, if you need some food to take home with you, we'll provide it.
Or if you don't need it, know a neighbor who might.
That's correct.
Yeah. That's awesome. You know, my trauma of the week is going to the grocery store, and it's not that I can't afford the groceries, it's that I see elderly people slowly pushing a buggy and picking up an item and looking at the price and putting it back on the shelf.
Right.
And I've met so many amazing ladies who say, I just can't afford that anymore. I can't afford that anymore. We used to buy that all the time, and I can't afford it anymore. That's pretty disheartening for America, isn't it?
It is, and right now, according to all the news stations, all of them, not just the conservative stations, but all of them, and too, when you get up to the counter and you get your receipt,
you shake your head.
Everything is 30–40% higher than it was 2 years ago.
Sure.
And there's no reason for it. There's no excuse. Eggs is one of the items that has gone up the most, and those chickens didn't get no raise.
No.
You know,
My big
they still
deal,
getting fed the same feed.
And your sweet Linda's here with us today, but I will tell you, I get traumatized when I walk to the meat counter.
I get mad.
Because I used to buy chuck roast. Once a week, I made a chuck roast, and then I used the leftover beef and broth stock to make my vegetable beef soup. It was 89 cents a pound. $8.98 a pound.
That's crazy.
$8.98 a pound. Now that cow still ate the same grass, still ate the same salt block, and still died the same way he dies. And I'll swear, in death, he's worth a lot more than he used to be.
Yeah.
And it just cracks me up. I mean, it absolutely. And I mean, I have slung meat down in the counter before the store, thinking that just makes me mad.
Yeah. Well, Linda and I, we go out and eat most every day for lunch, and very seldom do we get to eat for under, $15–20.
Yeah.
And although we did yesterday, but most of the time it's $35 and $40.
Oh, sure.
And in places that you used to be able to eat for under for under $20.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
No. Well, we got to give a shout out to somebody, and I don't know how they're holding their prices, but Mike's Ellijay restaurant over here, you know the place. We love it.
We do too.
Fried chicken, 3 vegetables, tea. You get out of there for $21. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And if you have a bowl of Cheerios for breakfast and you have that lunch, then you can have a light sandwich for supper.
Right,
so basically, that's your whole meal day. Yeah. So you can eat cheaper. Yeah. But did you see the show I was talking about Cheerios? Y'all, I'm still hooked on these Cheerios. But I can't find the kind I like anymore. $6.88 a box for Cheerios. Come on, they used to be $1.19.
Yes, well,
$6.88, and I get so aggravated. I sit there reading the box, and it says, healthy, good for your digestion, good for your heart, and I'm like, it's not good for my heart when I know I paid $6.88 for this. It makes my heart hurt. Don't tell me it's good for my heart.
Well, the content in the box ain't it like it is.
No. It's about half what it used to be. I think it's 14.6 ounces or something. And I'm going, so I get 5 bowls of Cheerios, and it's $6.88. Yeah. That is like crazy. It's crazy.
And I want to take up for the manufacturers and the farmers that grew, and all that, because
They're not getting rich either.
No, it's all this other.
BS is the word we're, BS.
Yeah.
Do you know what BS stands for?
Bidenomics.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's talk about Kemp-onomics, because I voted for Kemp twice. We'll vote for him again. He can't run again. But they gave out numbers of the Georgia budget, I think it was last night, and the budget for car tag sales that normally would have been da-da-da-da-da was over $1 billion less. You know why? We're keeping our cars, we're driving them longer, we're having them worked on, we're putting new tires on them instead of trading them when they need tires.
Right.
And I feel bad for the car dealers and the car manufacturers, but there's somebody in there that's getting rich. You know, the General Motors guys are still making the same money they were making. The Ford guys are still making the same money they were making. But somewhere in there, there's a pot full of money that somebody's getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when your tag cost you $4,000 to get your tag for a new vehicle, that's a lot of money. So you kind of make a decision like I did. Do you want a new car that bad? Well, yeah, I really do. But I can't do the economics right now. So it's tough. It's a very different world than we lived in.
Len and I are getting close, you know, to probably in the next 3 or 4 years we're going to have to do something, and we're not spring chickens either.
Yep.
So, and we're on a limited budget.
Yep.
And so it's going to be tough, but
Yeah.
May have to do like my dad did, get some duct tape and some chicken wire.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Get some of these shade
Well,
tree
I'll tell you, there's
mechanics
one
out here.
thing duct tape won't fix. You
Stupid.
can't fix stupid, not even with duct tape. And I was watching a program the other day about people in New York asking who they were going to vote for. And I told y'all before we did this, I got plumb mad because they were answering. I've never seen such stupidity in my life. And I was going, what? What? You're going to do what? Because what? And they said, oh, well, we liked the way it was those 4 years that everything was so successful, but we didn't like the way he talked to people. Oh, get over it. And I was like, are you kidding me? I can show you my bank account then and my bank account now,
Right.
and I can show you the difference in my grocery prices because I'm a receipt keeper. I keep receipts for everything. I got receipts for stuff from high school, you know. And you look at those prices, and it's hard to be happy at the grocery store. I feel sorry for the cashiers. I love my Ingles. Now I'm an Ingles girl. And I love my Ingles. I love seeing our sweet girls at the Jasper store. I like the people down at the Canton store. But I know that they deal with a lot of angry people.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you buy 3 bags and it's $108, and you're going, well, we're going to eat toilet paper one day, and we're going to have a hot dog one day, and we'll have a pimento cheese sandwich the next day.
Yeah.
There's your $108.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
Well, we have 2 granddaughters that work for a Publix store, and
The store I grew up with, because living in Orlando, we could walk to Publix.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I took one of them to work yesterday. Her mom had a car issue and had to take the car into the shop. So I took her and I asked her, I said, you like your job? And she said, yeah, it's okay. She said, just have to deal with a lot of mean people.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah.
you know, I know
Yeah.
what you just
Yeah.
said is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. And you can't help that it changes your attitude
Yeah,
when
and-
you're fishing out that money.
Right, and those people coming through those lines don't mean to be mean.
No,
You know,
no.
they're angry, not at, and they don't take it out necessarily on her or the other people there, but it's just.
It's a blow to your psyche to
Right.
know that I either have to buy groceries or pay a power bill. And
Or-
they're looking at that and going, okay, I better put that back because my power bill or my gas bill comes first.
Right.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And it, interest rates, I mean, everything has gone up. So when you get the receipt, like you was talking about, and it rings up $118, and it used to ring up $45 or $50, it does make your blood pressure go up,
yeah,
you know, and
sure.
you get angry and want to vent, and but nobody's listening.
No, nobody's listening.
That's our problem.
You know, my thing is I was always a Mayfield milk girl. I always bought Mayfield milk. Well, it's over $6 a gallon now.
That's
Still
crazy.
love Mayfield milk, but I buy Ingles milk.
Yeah.
I buy Ingles milk or I buy Walmart's milk.
Right.
And they go through the same process that Mayfield does, but you can tell the difference. I'm sorry. You know, you can tell the difference. But you have to cut back where you have to cut back.
That's right.
You know, and you can't buy a better grade of egg. You can buy, I think it's Eggland's that has the most expensive ones that are all that, whatever.
But an egg is an egg.
But an egg is an egg. And, but I love the homegrown eggs that people are doing that.
Right.
And they're doing it because they think it saves them money. Well, you go buy scratch feed, it doesn't save you any money. You do produce, I think, a better egg because it's full of that bright yellow and it got a lot of protein in it. But it costs you money to raise those chickens, so the feed goes up. So really, how do you save money? You know, we gardened. We used to have a garden, a big garden. Now, have y'all ever gardened?
We have. I had a beautiful garden several years ago, about 30 years ago, and I love doing it, but I haven't done it but that 1 year.
Wow, wow.
And it just time.
Yeah.
At that time, I was involved heavily with the Boy Scouts, with Glorybound, and just didn't have the time to work it. So, where we're at now, I don't have a space for it. I've done some 5-gallon bucket tomato vines, you know.
Yeah.
But my son and his wife, they have not a garden, but they have some boxes they built, and they put in some dirt, and they have 4 or 5 of those.
Yeah.
And then one of their sons, our grandson, he's in the process of building him a chicken coop. He wants to raise some chickens and some eggs and stuff, and he's a MacGyver type guy, you know.
And that's so good for him.
Oh yeah, he comes over and helps me in the barn when I work on projects and stuff. But and it is. It's just I'm gonna encourage him all I can to do that. He's not gonna save his family much money, you know, even if he
but
gets
it'll be so much fun. What a good experience.
Yeah. He'll be providing, and that's going to
Now,
be
having the age grandkids y'all have, this is a big thing right now. I was sitting, and it's one of your favorite restaurants and one of my favorite restaurants down in Canton. We love it, and we love their vegetables, and you know what I'm talking about. I was sitting in there one day, and I looked over at the table, and there was a couple, man and woman, in their early 50s, with about a 13, 14-year-old kid. And the parents were in their phone, both of them.
Right.
He's here, she's here. Does your daughter say, give me your phone when you come home in the evening, or do they get to sleep with their phone, smartphone? Are they on their phone constantly?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Both families.
Well, I've been listening to psychologists lately.
They do turn
Yeah, well, that's what, I've been listening to psychologists lately, and they said at dinner time, when you set the table for dinner, and we always sat at the table and ate dinner together, that's a thing of the past.
Right.
But I think that's the best time in the world to find out what kind of day you had, what kind of day your children had, what's going on in their life, who are their new friends, because that's one of the things that's so important that you keep up with. And I think that's the time that you turn your phones in. And a lot of teachers are saying, give them a flip phone. So during an emergency, they can call somebody.
Right.
But do not give them the smartphones anymore. And I'm looking at, I wish I had done that, because, but at the same time, I'll pick up my phone and call and say, hey, can you look up so-and-so on the phone for me? So it's such a convenience to all of us.
Right. Well, the smartphones, this is Bob Reece.
Yeah, this is what the psychologist says. Smartphones are making people stupid.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
And it's giving ideals about doing stupid stuff.
Yes, yes.
You know, that's the biggest thing. And you try to put something on there, like even the Glorybound, when I post some of our bookings, some of them are took off because it doesn't supposedly follow their guidelines.
Yes.
But I turn right around and repost it, and it's fine. So they police
Oh, yes,
and they'll
everything.
let you know,
yes.
might be some stuff that you'd want on there that don't get on there, and then all this crazy junk.
Stuff you don't want to see is on there.
Gets
yeah.
on there.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And I get aggravated at even the TV, and Linda gets mad at me. I watch the news a lot.
Yeah.
But if they just quit showing some of that stuff, because a lot of people are just gonna
attention getters.
Well, and then people watching it. Well, let's go do that.
Let's go do that. Yeah.
You know, and they mimic
drag
what
racing in the middle of an Atlanta street, or just craziness.
Or block a road going to the airport.
Yeah.
Like they did yesterday in the bridge.
Blocked many bridges.
Yes. And that's
okay. Here's my question
stupid.
to that: why is the jail not full today? Of all those protesters, I know we have a right to protest. We have a right to assemble with a permit and to have meetings like that. Right. But these people were not permitted, and they blocked roads, and they basically were stopping America from working, and at the same time they were screaming death to America.
Right.
Death to America. Now, is that what you want to hear on TV?
Well, I guarantee you, if they lived in Palestine or Iraq and said death to Iraq,
they'd be beheaded.
Death to Iran,
yes.
Death to Palestine, they'd be right then. It wouldn't be no trial.
Right.
So, we've got some things we need to figure out here in the United States. And of course, Biden is not going to fix it, period. Trump can't fix it. No man, no government is going to fix it. We're going to have to get back to God, and it's the people's fault that we can blame Biden and Trump and Obama and whoever else, but it's our fault. And I
we are a nation
churches,
out of control. We are a nation out of control.
Yeah, the churches are not doing what God has ordained the churches to do, and that's why we're in the shape we're in. And it ain't just the United States; it's worldwide.
Yeah. Well, our dear friend Linda Autry played at Cool Springs Baptist Church this weekend.
Oh, cool.
And everybody loved it, and it was like she was a rock star. Everybody wanted to hug and wanted to talk to her, and she was so excited. And this week, there's an article with her picture in a Cherokee County magazine, which was really, really cool, because that's what we need to go back to.
Right.
She raised girls who are involved in the ministry. Where did we go wrong? Because we blew it somewhere.
I can remember as a kid, I don't remember what grade, probably 4th or 5th, when I was introduced to We Came From Monkeys.
Yeah.
When I came home and was sharing that with my mom and dad, I thought my dad was going to blow his top. and it just, and that's that time era in the 50s is, I think, when all this mess started. And then of course you had the 60s with all of the rioting, and that's when the drugs started, with the marijuana and heroin and all that stuff. Vietnam guys coming back home all spaced out. And then that's when you got Roe versus Wade. You got God took out of schools. You got prayer took out of schools. And when I was growing up, and you too, first thing we did that morning, the teacher got us to stand up. We pledged to that flag over there, and we prayed.
Right.
And you can't do that anymore.
Did you see the story? We talked about this yesterday, and the guys hadn't seen this, about the 9-year-old little girl who wanted to have a prayer group in her school, and they forbid her to do that. This was like 2 weeks ago, and she's been on several of our stations, kind of you and I watch. And but they also allowed them to have a Black Lives Matter meeting and to do a group for that, and they did things that didn't make any sense, but they wouldn't let them have prayer. Now, one of my guests yesterday does prayer for Christian athletes.
Right.
And they do an amazing group, an amazing job,
right.
But he has to really, it blows my mind that he's allowed to do that in school when they wouldn't let this kid do a prayer group.
Yeah, it's great.
She was 9 years old, and she felt led to share. She had a lot of Christian friends,
Right.
and they all said, you know, when you walk into a school, you don't know if you're going to get out of there safely or not.
Right.
Because we have some nuts in the world that are, whether you after revenge or after making a statement or just to get attention, who are doing things, and often they hit the schools. And so the kids felt a need to pray, and they wouldn't allow that.
Well, the school boards that's where all this is coming from, and most of them are this millennial age, which are the values are different. Let me say it that way. The values are different, and they don't see the necessity for God or whatever they're. You know, and I'm not saying all school boards are that way, and I'm not saying everybody on the school board is that way. But the majority of the school boards is just like our government. They're liberals. They don't have
The morality's gone.
right the respect, the discipline. All of that has been taken away from the teachers and the principals who actually run the schools, and sad to say, even some of the, a lot of the teachers don't have that.
Can you imagine being a teacher in, say, Atlanta? Certainly not Chicago or New York or Philadelphia,
Right.
but just in Atlanta. Can you
Right.
imagine going to school and being a teacher and wondering if you're going to make it home safely?
Right. Well, I've got my son teaches in Cherokee County. My daughter did. She homeschools now, and her husband did, and he retired recently. Well, in the last couple of years, and all of them say it's horrible. It's tough. They're there trying to make a difference in these kids' lives, and their hands are tied.
Right.
They can't do a lot of the stuff that they'd like to do.
So sad.
Yeah.
So
And
sad.
can I plug something?
Yes. Yes.
My son Scott Reece teaches for Teasley Middle School, and what's the name of the magazine, Linda? Reader's Digest has got a nationwide contest, and Scott is in the top 10.
Wow.
So you can go to his Facebook.
Is it a story?
They will do a story on whoever winds up getting this, plus they'll get a grant that they can, a $25,000 grant.
So we need to vote for him.
Need to go and vote for Scott Reece. He's on Facebook, and go on there and vote, and so that he'll win that. And not only will he get recognition, but the school will as well. And it's through American Reader's Digest.
The two people that made the greatest impression in my life and my education was my home ec teacher and my school counselor. And Miss Chris Overton, to this day, and she had on the color dress this color the day that she and I met. And she suggested that I leave school and get my diploma at night school so I could go to work, because she could see I was bored. And she said, you've got all these credits, you only need 2 credits. Why don't you just go to night school and get them, because it's obvious you're bored at school. A teacher can make or break a child.
Yes.
A counselor can make or break a child, and I give honor and tribute to all of those who made a difference.
Right.
Because Ms. Maisel Kemp, she was so funny, she was my home ec teacher. I ended up having her for home ec 1, home ec 2, and psychology. I had her 3 times a day, because I hated biology, and that was one of the credits I had to get in after school, in night school, because I hated biology. You know why? I didn't respect my teacher.
Right.
I did not respect my teacher.
Right.
And she taught often with a boa constrictor wrapped around her waist. I hate snakes. So this lady and I just did not hit it off, because I don't just dislike snakes. I'm like a violent old lady. You get me a snake and I'm going to annihilate that sucker. He's going to not know where his head went. So it's so weird, because I have two of the most important people in my life was my home ec teacher and my counselor. And one of the people I disliked the most was my biology teacher, and boy, did I dislike her. But it was crazy because to this day, I will do something and I will think Miss Kemp would have been proud of me for that.
Yeah.
Miss Overton would have been happy that I accomplished what I did and I went on to do what I did because I didn't give up, I didn't give in. I got my credits, got my diploma, but it took, somebody looking at me and saying, "You're bored." And I said, "I really am." And she said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to go to work full time." And she said, "What?" And she said, "Well, you'll graduate soon." I said, "No, I want to go to work now." And I went to work the next day at the biggest Jewish law firm in Atlanta, and I was so excited, and I made $65 a week, But I continued and got an education, but it was somebody saw in me something that they could help and to move me along, and they did it. They did it.
Well, we've got, next year, we'll have 4 grandkids in college.
Wow.
And
you better get you extra jobs so you can help them out.
well, I feel for the parents.
Yeah.
And we help when we can, but they're growing up and they come up through that school that where there's not a whole lot of respect and stuff, and that's one reason that
Christy decided to homeschool.
well, and even Scott's 2 boys are his wife, our daughter-in-law. She's homeschooling the boys because they just so much negative stuff within the school system.
When your kid comes home and gets off the school bus, and the first question he asks you, and he's 5 years old, kindergarten era, and he's heard something on that bus that he's like, and he asks you a certain question, it makes you think long and hard.
Right.
And how do you control what other children do? And how do you control how your children are influenced? It's tough. It's hard.
Elections.
Your vote matters. Our
election.
vote matters more this year than I think it ever has in history.
Right.
And, everybody knows, my viewers know, they know how I vote. It's not hard to tell. But I'm scared.
Yeah.
I look at my great-grandbaby, and I won't be here for the rest of her life because my age, obviously. And I think about who will help those little children? Who will help those little children?
I really, I dread it for our grandkids and great-grandkids. We got 4 great-grandkids. I really dread it. I pray that God will protect them, and watch over them. And our elections do count, not just national elections, but our local elections count
Absolutely.
too. These yahoos get in there in these local jobs and they don't care either, a lot of them.
Right.
And we got some good folks. I'm not saying North Georgia's got some good folks, but we got some yin-yangs too.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Well, you know what we've got set up? Some Glorybound music, and you're going to get to hear a little bit of Glorybound music now. And it is about some good stuff. There's always good news in gospel music, so here we go.
Lately I've been yearning for home, but my heart is already gone. With each step I take, I feel one step away from walking through those His presence and to hear my Redeemer say, "Welcome to heaven, my child. Welcome to heaven, my child. You have run the race. You have kept the faith. Welcome to heaven, my child." Golden streets, Jasper walls, mansions bright, crystal rivers will sparkle with light. Heaven's beauties we will share, but they'll never compare to the moment He welcomes me there. Glory's angels will all step aside when He greets me with His arms open wide. He'll step down from His throne just for me alone. Face to face, He's gonna welcome me home, and He'll say, "Welcome to heaven, my child. Welcome to heaven, my child. You have run the race. You have kept the faith. Welcome to heaven, my child. You have run the race. You have kept the faith. Welcome to heaven, my child." When with
After the commercial, how much time do we have?
Whether you're in the
About
mood for
20
chicken
minutes.
strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split,
So
or
we've got about
an
19
upside-down thick blizzard treat,
right.
we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time, and delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
Georgia Medical Treatment Center now has 2 locations to bring you the high-quality holistic care you've come to know and expect. We treat neck, back, and joint pain with chiropractic care and injection-based treatment without the need for surgery or prescription painkillers. Our medical weight loss program can also provide relief while ridding your body of toxins, pounds, and inches while improving your overall health. Call today for a free consultation, 770-345-2000, or go online to georgiamtc.com.
You know, how you feel on the inside is just as important to me as how you feel on the outside.
Oh, Daddy. grown up. Is there in every way to take care of you? You're my grown up and I know you're there. I'm your grown up and you know I care. 'Cause it's you and me and me and you. So when you are okay or not okay, I'll take care of you.
Misty mountain, rainbow sky, a faraway look in your eye. Tell me, have you had enough? Traffic jams and city stuff. Don't you think it's time to go where black bears climb and waters flow? Hummingbirds out on the deck, propped up and what the heck?
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
Start your engines. Get your cars ready to go. April the 27th, 2024, Hickory Flat Fellowship. And it starts at 5 p.m. for dinner.
4 o'clock seating. Yeah.
4 o'clock, get in there and be talking and visiting with folks.
Yeah, fellowshipping. Yeah.
That's right. And then music, a meal, a gift, a box of food if you need it. This is free event thanks to Bob and Linda Reece and Glorybound. And if you don't support them with your music, shame, shame, shame on you. You should get on Spotify and listen to them. You should get on, where else are y'all available?
Amazon, iTunes, Pandora, anywhere you listen to music, streaming, we're there.
There you go.
We have our own website and we have our own radio program on WLJA 101.1 every Sunday morning from 9 to 9:30. Grab that extra cup of coffee and just before you head out to
Sunday
church.
School. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or if you're in your car already headed to Sunday school, turn it on and listen to some good old Southern gospel.
And remember, this event is free.
Yes.
Thanks to Bob and Linda. And this has been happening for several years, and I guarantee it's touched some lives.
Yes.
And you know, there are people who are no longer with us who used to go to this.
Right.
And it's interesting because it created a good lasting memory for them.
Right.
And it really makes a difference.
Right. We open the doors at 4 o'clock for them to come in anytime between 4 and 5 and just come in and fellowship, find them a seat. And once they get in their seat, they don't have to ever get up the whole night unless they need to go to the potty.
Yeah, yeah.
Because and starting a little bit before 5, we start serving, and it's a full course meal. And then at the end of the meal, we do dessert and coffee or whatever. And then a little bit before 6, Glorybound will start, and we'll do a full concert. And we serve the food when you sit down, and it's mealtime. We bring the food to you. You don't ever have to get up. And then we'll finish a little bit before 7 so that they can get home before dark. And if you do need as Cherie said, a little helping hand on food, we have food boxes that you can take home with you with 100 meals in each box. And this is just our way of letting you know that, hey, we love you, and you're not alone. Jesus is with you all the time. but on this particular night, Glorybound's just going to love on you, and we hope you love us back, and y'all have so far. And it's just been, this has, of all the events that we do, and we do the White Christmas, been doing that for 38 years, and that's for underprivileged kids, but this event has become one of, this is just a special event. I wished we'd have been doing it when my parents were, when my mom was alive, living with us, but she didn't get to come.
Yep. Well, again, and this is free.
It's all
and it
free.
Is April the 27th.
Yeah.
April the 27th. Pick up the phone now today. Call a couple of your friends.
Yeah.
I know we all have that widow women that we run around with, and go down and enjoy a great meal. If you want to go early and run to Canton and do a little shopping on your way, you know, if you have ladies that you could take and maybe they don't drive anymore, that's a great way to get them out of the house too. Maybe make it an early afternoon and do a little something else with them. So
and
there you go.
pastors and deacons, there's widows and widowers, men in churches, all the churches.
That don't have a way to go.
Doesn't have a way to go. Go by, make arrangements to pick them up and bring them, and we'll feed you too. We won't let you come in and drop them off and not be able to eat. We'll feed you as well.
Right.
And it's just it'd be a good ministry for your church.
Right.
You
That's
know,
right.
Give you folks in the church a night out on the town.
That's right.
With Glorybound.
Now, is Sweet Vicki Lawson still helping you?
Very much.
I tell you,
biggest
ain't nobody
part.
like her. She's so precious.
Yes,
she's so precious.
She's my first cousin.
Yes, yes.
And she's also the host on Just Keep Singing.
Just Keep Singing.
With Melvin Clout.
WATC in Atlanta.
WATC, 57.
Yeah.
So she's a very, very special, and Julie Darnell from the church there, she's big part of it. And lots of others. I mean, we have a lot of folks that help us.
Make it happen.
Yeah, Cherie Martin, you know, others doing different things.
It's a very special time, and I'm so glad that people have gotten to enjoy it. When you look back on the 7 years, look at how many people's lives you made a difference in.
I've had over the years, I've had people to tell me that, you know, Bob, this is probably the one of the most important things that Glorybound does, and that makes my...
Oh yeah, I know. Well, right now we're going to take you to another song by Glorybound, so sit back and enjoy.
Pray for us.
When with the Savior we enter the glory land, won't it be wonderful there? Ended the troubles and cares of the storyland, won't it be wonderful there? Won't it be wonderful there? Having no burdens to bear, joyously singing with heart bells all ringing, oh, won't it be wonderful there? Oh, won't it be wonderful there? Walking and talking with Christ the supernal one, won't it be wonderful there? Praising, adoring the matchless eternal one, won't it be wonderful there? Won't it be wonderful there? Having no burdens to bear, joyously singing with heart bells all ringing, oh, won't it be wonderful there? Oh, won't it be wonderful there? Won't it be wonderful there? Having no burdens to bear, joyously singing with heart bells all ringing, oh, won't it be wonderful there? Oh, won't it be wonderful there?
Bob, we want people to also get ready right now to start saving their pennies for White Christmas.
Yes.
Donate whatever they can, because before you know it, Christmas will be here.
Right. And that
Are the
is-
Isaacs going to be involved again?
No, they're not going to be with us this year. I don't want to name the group just yet. I've been talking to Nashville the last couple of days, and even on my way up here. So hopefully today I'll have it all in concrete.
Is it a
but
group I know and love?
It's a group that everybody's going to love, and we're also
I'm so
booking.
excited.
We're also going to be booking another group for 2025 already, because the groups are getting booked
Yes.
a whole lot further out than Glorybound is.
Yeah, yeah.
But this group they're an amazing group, and everybody's just going to be
Blown away.
blown away. And let me say this, you mentioned Isaacs. Last year, we had to move the location, and this coming year be in the same place, Five Stones Church on Sixes Road. Last year's White Christmas program, that night's event, was the best. I don't say probably, it was the best we've had. The spirit was just all over the place. Those people at Five Stones, they were just overly welcoming, and I had a couple of guys that just stayed on me, and what do you need? Don't do that, we'll do that. I mean, they just, and great pastor and staff. And so, and then the offering was the best we've ever had. The singing was some of the best that we've ever had. The Isaacs just were amazing as always. And everybody else was too. But I mean, we're providing for over 700 kids. And
without that, there would be no Christmas for those 700 kids.
a lot of them, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what, when we look at our budgets, when you walk in and buy anything, what you can provide for those children, it goes thinner and thinner every year because the price of goods goes up.
Right. The majority of the kids that we help this year are through CASA and Children's Haven, which is another partner that we partner with. And they are children that are, they have custody of them, and it's children that have been taken out of the dangerous or or abused relationship or situation, but they haven't yet gone into a permanent foster care or been adopted yet. So these kids are just kind of dangling out here in the system. They are in temporary foster homes, but they're not in permanent foster homes. And they average 400 or 500 kids daily. And that's just the children that they know in this area, Cherokee County, and which is sad, that many kids. If you multiply that times all the counties in the whole United States, there's millions of kids out there that are just been.
Well, every day I look back and I thank my mother for putting us first, because a single mom working in the executive world of Atlanta and Orlando, she put us first.
Right.
And in this generation, I hate to say it, but I see parents who are partying, drinking, doing drugs, doing their thing. I've heard that till it makes me want to puke. I got to do my thing. I got to enjoy my life. And I'm like, then you shouldn't have had this child. You shouldn't have given up the responsibility of being a good parent to do your thing. And I just want to smack them. But thankful for the good parents that are out there.
Right.
So thankful.
Well, it doesn't matter what age these kids are, if they're a boy or a girl or whatever. And I say this every year, and we've been doing this for 38 years, the White Christmas. It's never, ever, 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 never that child's fault that they're in the situation that they're in. I mean, we see it in the orphanage that we sponsor in Peru. Same down there. I mean, it's worldwide, where kids are just neglected, and sometimes it's not even the parents' fault.
Right.
You know, I understand that. I'm not blaming you know. And
Maybe they weren't taught parenting skills because
Right.
they grew up in extreme poverty or something.
or lost their job and just can't provide.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I don't want to blame anybody because I don't know each child's situation, but I do know that it's not that child's fault, and they need to have a Christmas. They need to have school clothes, school supplies, just like all the other kids, and that's what we try to provide.
Absolutely.
And it's all God. It's not Bob and Linda. It's not Glorybound. It's all God.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We see it every day. We see it every day. Yep. Yep. Well, I hope if you're in a position to give, if you're thinking about your taxes at the end of the year, it's not too early to plan to give to Glorybound Ministries and to help them with White Christmas, because truly 700 kids, if you spent $25 on each kid, that's a whole lot of money. $25 will buy very little in today's world. So, you know, if you could get it to $100 a kid, $150 a kid, wouldn't that be awesome?
Be awesome. And
Wouldn't that be awesome?
we used to provide $100 per child, but that's when we had 150 kids.
Right, right. What a difference.
Yeah, we can't do that now. You know, they don't. I wished we could. I wished we could give them $500. You know, but we give them what God wants us to give them, and we all every year we get every penny. We don't get any less than what God wants us to get. We don't get any more. It's and that's what I pray for, and I believe it with all my heart that God provides.
Well, again, if you're doing your planning, you lived through tax day yesterday. If you're planning for the future and you are fortunate enough to have some wealth, you can't spend it anywhere any better than to give back to a child or to give back to, you know, when we think about CASA wouldn't happen without volunteers.
Right.
And volunteers are few and far between too, and they're spread very, very thin. So if you'd like to find out a little bit more about a CASA.
All of the ministry partners that we partner with, CASA, Children's Haven, they work together. Serve International, they're worldwide. They provide millions and millions of meals yearly. Sunlight Ministries, they do meals and they do financial aid as well. Limitless Disabilities, all of these, and then the orphanage in Peru, all of these ministries are volunteer structured. So it takes a lot of volunteers, you know, to do all this. So.
And it takes a lot of money to make it happen. And some of you sitting out there, write a check and donate. There you go. I'm so glad that y'all were with us today. I want to remind you about the sales Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Ball Ground right downtown. The Rockman stuff is going to be out there to sell, and once again you're going to get to prowl through those cool rocks, those great gems, and take yourself home a treasure. You know, when we think about Ball Ground has a slogan on the shirt that says Ball Ground Rocks. Ball Ground does rock, and my goal in my lifetime is to one day have a historical society with their own building that could feature the history of the Cherokee, the history of the rocks and the minerals that came from the area, and the history of all the many families that made Ball Ground what it was then, and then the families that are progressing and making it what it is today. Because when we look at the history of all the small towns that we serve, Ducktown is one of those. I'm going to be up there, and we're going to be doing a shoot with the old school. And when we think about what we've lost, we need to preserve the past. We need to embrace the future, but we need to certainly embrace the future as we're preserving the past. So if you live in a small town and you think you can't make a difference, maybe join the Historical Society, maybe join the Garden Club, join something that makes a difference. I know our Garden Club donates scholarships to kids, and that's so very important. So if you're doing your planning and you'd like to help somebody, look around, and there's somebody who could use your help, and certainly Glorybound Ministries is one of those that could use it, and spend your money wisely.
Yes. This weekend, if I could share where we're going to be, Friday night we'll be at the retreat of Canton. That's a senior Citizens facility out on Hickory Flat. We'll be out there Friday night at 6:30. And then Sunday morning we'll be at Rising Hills Church on Hickory Flat Highway in Canton at 10:30. So if you're out and about this weekend, or if you don't have a place to get out and about to go to, come in and be with Glorybound either Friday night or Sunday morning.
And what's the address of Rising Hills?
I have to look it up.
You can get them there, but you can't tell them the address.
Let's see.
Is it further out Hickory Flat Road?
It's almost at the corner of where Univetta Road runs into to Highway 140, Hickory Flat Road. Sorry, I'm going to use my glasses. It's 3693 Hickory Flat Highway.
There you go. And again, that concert starts at what time?
That Sunday morning is
Sunday
at
morning,
10:30. Yeah. So we'd love to have you. They would love to have you. It's a great church. Super pastor. He and I are good friends. Been to Peru with him many times. Served on the board of directors for the orphanage in Peru for years. Just a great guy. Y'all come and be with us, and if you can't come, you can pray.
Right.
So be praying for Friday night and Sunday morning.
And you know, when we look at the world and the shape it's in, truly, one person can make a difference in your life. And maybe you're sitting at home and you're struggling and things are happening in your life and you need to make contact with somebody and you don't want to be in your own community because you don't want people to know how you're struggling. Right. You could reach out to, there's a perfect church where they just welcome you in. Right. You know, and that's what it's about.
And Serve International, go back to them, these food boxes that we get from them, they have what they call a pack out every first Friday and Saturday of the month. And volunteers come in, about 50 or so volunteers come in, and they pack these boxes with food. And I'm sure they could use your help, you know, if you're not doing anything on those days, and give back. You know, you may not have any money to give, but you can always give of yourself.
That's right.
And pray.
That's it. That's
you can
it.
always do that.
Yay. We're going to leave you today with one more song by Glorybound. So sit back and enjoy. And again, when you think about giving to somebody in your community, somebody who's going to make a difference. And we have seen the difference that Bob and Linda and Glorybound have done for over 38 years. You deserve an award, and I know that one day there's one waiting for you.
I wish I could have done and do more.
I know, I have no doubt. Here we go to a little bit more music by Glorybound.